Everyone, thanks for joining us at KSC.
Hi everyone. Ken, so I have a quick question for you.
What's that?
So I probably take about anywhere from 50 to 60 calls a day.
Yep.
And almost every caller, whether it's the addict or the alcoholic themselves or it's a loved one, basically they all have the same question. You know, they ask me, what do we do if my loved one is suffering from substance abuse issues? And I believe it all stems from some traumatic experience when they were younger.
Yeah. Trauma.
Trauma, perfect. So what are we doing here about trauma?
Well, trauma is a real buzzword right now, and everybody says they're doing trauma work. And when I ask them, they never know how to answer that question. Oh, we do EMDR. And we do, Dr. Sandy does EMDR here with us, so we do offer that. But I've done EMDR, I've done talk therapy, I've done all the different modalities around that for years. But the one that helped me the most, that I think is really important, is trauma eggs. Trauma eggs, you know, gave me a new awareness and gave me a new enlightenment from doing trauma eggs. So I love that we do trauma eggs here. And we have Dr. Helen that helps us with them, and also Eric that's been trained in them.
Wow, so can you tell me a little bit more about trauma eggs?
Yeah, come on in where we do the trauma eggs. I'll show you where we do them and how we do them. So here we have Clean Dean hanging up the trauma eggs right here.
How you doing?
So Clean Dean's hanging them up, and what we're doing is we're leaving a space where people could leave their trauma here when they leave treatment.
Wow.
So I'll explain that one in a second, but first I'll show you my trauma egg.
So wait, this is your personal trauma egg?
Yeah, this is what I did about 3 years ago. I did my trauma egg, and I love them because you start out at the first trauma that you ever recall. And so here's my first trauma. Most of it was like back when I was a little kid. You remember when you would go and you play sports?
Okay, gotcha.
Right? And you're in school and what is it called?
PE?
PE, yeah.
PE, gotcha.
Right? Physical ed. And you're in PE and they line everybody up and they say, okay, I pick you to be on my team, I pick you. Number one, I was never a captain. So I was never able to pick who I wanted on my team. But the worst is I was always the last one left to be picked.
Wow.
And so that fear of being the last one every single time just leaves a gut feeling inside of you that you're a piece of crap. Nobody wants you. You're not worth living. You should just be dead. So all these voices start playing in my head. And that little 4-year-old, 5-year-old that starts learning these things, and then it happens even more as you get older, you know, it's still constantly not feeling connected with anyone. So at 4 on, I create what I like to call a hustle. And that hustle is what protects me. It's a shield, a vest that I put on that is survival. So I put that on and I learn how to survive as a 4-year-old, but those skills, that hustle that I create, those traits, I take into adulthood. And so here I am 50 years old in these traumas, and I'm still behaving like that 4-year-old.
Wow.
And doing a trauma egg gives you the awareness that the reason I did it is because that 4-year-old needed to be protected, right? 4 to 14. Needed to learn how to be protected. I'm not a 4-year-old anymore, but I'm still doing the same traits that make me feel like I need to be protected.
Gotcha.
So what we do in the trauma eggs is, I'll show you this one over here. This one's a great one. I love this. This was just done this week, and he's, you know, these are people that want theirs up here so they could show people, but he was able to take all his trauma and say his tears that he had crying through all this pain was able to water these flowers to where he's at today, and now he's living in a field of flowers.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
So he's able to grasp that all of the negativity and harmful things are able to help him propel as a person now.
Exactly.
Wow.
So instead of letting the trauma dictate who we're going to be in this world and what our reaction is going to be, instead of responding, I like to call it automatic pilot. We go to automatic pilot. That 4-year-old goes to, you know, one of my best traits are, you screw with me, I'm shutting you out of my life forever. I will never talk to you again the rest of my life. And that's another trait that I put on that safety vest to say, I'd rather not be a part of your life, because if I'm too close to you, I know I'll get hurt.
Gotcha.
So then Trauma Teddy's over here.
Love it.
Like Trauma Teddy. So Trauma Teddy, we like to use him as our 4-year-old. So this is the 4-year-old. And as an adult, I would sit and put him in a chair next to me, and I'd talk to little Kenny, that's what my name was back then, and tell little Kenny what he needed. As an adult, what I would have given him if I was taking care of him today.
Wow.
What were his needs?
Got you.
So he could be a little kid and not feel so threatened.
Wow.
So you use that as a tool to be able to show that as an adult, I'm the only one that could take care of him. My parents couldn't take care of him, because if I told my parents that I was getting beat up, which I did sometimes at school, they would go and they would make it even worse.
Got you.
Right?
Yes, for sure.
You get made fun of on the school bus, you go home and you tell on them, and then all of a sudden now the kids are really picking on you.
Yes, for sure.
Because you went and told your mom,
Yeah.
your dad,
Yes.
right?
Got you.
So what did little Kenny really need back then, and how can Ken as an adult give it to him?
Wow.
And it shows people, it gives them an enlightenment, an awareness to say, am I going to live back in that trauma? Whatever that trauma is, there's a lot of them gone there. There's a lot on there. Whatever that trauma, is it going to control my life, or am I going to take back control? And am I going to allow that little kid be able to be who he really is and the spirit that he wants to be, versus shut down because of what society told him he had to be?
Wow. I love that. I love that. So basically, I can tell the callers that you're going to get an opportunity to come here to our facility, work with a team of clinicians that's going to help you work through your trauma, teach you how to do a trauma egg, and then you get to actually work with Trauma Teddy here.
Yeah. Well, if that's what's on your list, we need to get Trauma Teddy involved, we'll bring him in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you or your loved one is suffering from substance abuse, from mental health challenges, and you believe that it stems from any traumatic experience, please give our team a call. Give myself and my other coordinators an opportunity to sort of help you get to the right placement so that you can come into treatment.
Yeah, and you can leave your trauma up on the wall right here. With Clean Dean over here, hanging up the frames, ready to go.
That's
so
right.
we need some more trauma to help people leave their trauma here and really give you the opportunity to have the life that you deserve, because I held on to it for the last 27 years sober. I held on to my trauma. I didn't even know I had trauma for many years of my sobriety. So if we could teach them that, and we don't want to teach them too early.
Got you.
So, you don't want to do it in your first 30 days while you're with us.
Got
But
you.
60, 90 days, let's get this through where you have an awareness and be able to help.
Perfect. So it's not something that they would start at the very beginning of their treatment episode. It's something that once it's clinically appropriate, then we begin to work with them on it.
Once Dr. Helen gives the green light, there's some that have been here how many months before we even started with that,
Perfect.
right?
Makes sense.
You know the ones.
Yes. Yes.
They're just, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not ready to deal with my trauma. They'd come to the Dr. Helen and tell her, I'm not ready to do my trauma. And she'd be like, put the brakes on it.
Got you. Love it.
So each person is individual, and we really want to help you get through it so you could do exactly what this person did and use your trauma to be more aware of your traits and changing your lives.
I love it. Thank you.
So yeah, call us up. We'd love to help.